Right now, there are so many videos on the internet teaching you how to start a business, make a side hustle, or earn passive income. A lot of the videos that I've seen personally have involved doing things that are probably not super sustainable. Either they fuel excessive consumption of things that we don't really need, maybe they have a really high resource intensity, or otherwise they might use supply chains that perhaps profit off things like modern slavery. So in this video, we're going to be looking at 6 side hustle ideas that you can start today. These are all super beginner friendly and easy to implement that can make you money while still being good for the planet. So what constitutes a sustainable side hustle? I use a set of really simple criteria to just filter out ideas based on whether they are environmentally, socially, and economically or financially sustainable. For me, that means anything that doesn't necessarily have a negative environmental impact is included in my list, but bonus points if they have a positive impact as well. So number 1 is renting out your assets. There are platforms out there at the moment where you can rent out your assets for a low cost, and the platform will connect you with people that are interested in loaning them from you. As an example, Uber just bought this really cool Australian platform called Car Next Door. It's super simple to use, and one of the biggest benefits of doing something like this is that the platform will generally cover all of the things like insurance and extra costs. The 3 main benefits of this are that it is essentially a very low effort and hassle-free income source. Almost passive, you still have to do a little bit of work to get it up and running, but once you have your car listed, if you're going away for instance, the new platform offered by Uber will manage all of that customer interaction for you. From a sustainability perspective, it also decreases the amount of cars on the road or the demand for new cars being produced. So by doing this, we're sort of optimizing the market by allowing multiple people to use the same vehicle. This is really cool, and it will be really interesting to see how this continues to grow and develop with increasing use of electric vehicles. Lastly, it's really great if you are going away for a period of time, as I mentioned at the start. A couple of small things to think about. Number 1 is that things like cars especially do depreciate in value with continued use. As your car racks up more kilometers, you're going to need to consider that it might depreciate in value, and you'll also have to incur an additional expense of more regular services. This is fine as long as you're factoring it into your pricing decisions when you're thinking about how much you want to rent your car out for. Up next, we have number 2 and number 3. So number 2 is all about curating secondhand items and selling them for a profit, whereas number 3 is about upcycling things for resale. I've grouped these 2 together because they are similar in terms of the business model, but they do still differ around how much effort is required for each one. So when it comes to curating secondhand items and then reselling them, there's a couple of different ways that you can add value in this scenario. The first way is by simplifying the search and collection process for the buyer. And if you're going to go down this route, basically you want to create an online store where you occupy a certain niche. So whether that's furniture, clothing, hardware, electronics, you just want to make sure that people can come to your online platform and feel confident that they can find what they're looking for and that what you're offering is going to be high quality. A few examples of places where you can do this are Depop for clothes. So a lot of people jump on there and sell thrifted or secondhand or vintage clothing for a premium. Otherwise, you've got Facebook Marketplace, which is great for like the occasional thing, but it can be difficult to build a recognizable online marketplace on the platform. The second way that you can add value to your online store is a little bit easier than the first because it involves this simple idea called arbitrage. When people are moving out of their house, they need to get rid of things quickly. For example, they will sell it for a price lower than what it's actually worth. Gary Vee is probably the elephant in the room here.
10 for it. That's cheap. Would you consider 5 for this?
But there's plenty of other content creators out there that are doing a similar thing, just buying things cheap and selling them for a profit. Now, moving on to upcycling, I'm not going to go into this one in too much depth, but basically it's this idea of restoring an item to a state of higher quality. And again, you can just buy items that are cheaper and needing repair or are a little bit under the weather, and with a little bit of elbow grease and hard work, you can restore them into a better condition. Both of these ideas are really great because you can turn a quick profit. From a sustainability perspective, they're also really good because they support the circular economy by reducing waste and reducing the need for people to buy new stuff that maybe isn't as good quality. Number 4 and 5 are about creating online resources for other people to use. I've grouped both of these ideas together because they are quite similar ideas, but they are different in the way that you can earn money from them, as well as how passive that money is. So in terms of creating online resources, all you need is a specific skill, passion, or interest or hobby that you can teach other people about and that other people will find valuable. If you would prefer to create a written resource like a blog, PDF, or ebook, if you post an ebook on Amazon, for example, every time someone downloads or clicks on that, you could earn a small amount of commission. You can write about anything really, bonus points if it's about something that is related to sustainability or positive for the world. But the really cool thing about making online resources is that Once people start to buy them, or if you start to become monetized in any way, you can earn a solid income from that resource even when you're asleep. As a new content creator, I can't speak to it from experience, but I will let you know how I go. Similarly, creating free video resources or online courses can be a great way to earn a little bit of extra income. Monetization on these platforms comes in lots of different forms. You can either get paid directly for a course that you're offering, you can earn money through ad revenue, you can be sponsored by specific companies and promote them in your videos, and you could also use things like affiliate marketing. But a quick word of warning about affiliate marketing: while it is an incredibly popular choice among influencers across the internet, it can be really detrimental if it's encouraging people to buy things that they don't really need. So it's just important to be really conscious when looking at opportunities to become monetized, and making sure that if you're promoting companies or products, that they align with your own values, and in the case of products, that they serve some sort of essential purpose. Consideration with this one is it does involve a little bit more of an upfront investment in terms of your time and energy, and there is a risk that you don't get monetized at all and you just keep making videos, which if you're super passionate about the topic and you're helping people in the process, then it might not matter to you that much, but just something to keep in mind. Number 6, we have sustainable investing. Now, I could go into so much detail about this topic, but I'm just going to keep it really brief here. The first one is index funds, or ETFs, or exchange traded funds. Basically, these are funds that track a specific index, whether that's a sector of the economy or an otherwise managed fund, which is basically a portfolio of company shares. These can be really good, especially for earning things like dividends, because they allow you to diversify your investing portfolio even with a small amount of money to invest. The second option is directly investing in companies, so buying shares on the stock market. It can be a really cool way to directly support the companies and the causes that you're passionate about. From a sustainability perspective, something to take into consideration when investing directly in companies. Number 1 is that their primary business model has a place in a low carbon future, i.e. not fossil fuels. It also rules out a few other industries as well. And number 2 is to make sure that they are actively taking action to reduce their environmental and social impact, as well as taking steps to manage their exposure to the impacts of things like climate change. So we're talking fires, floods, and energy security concerns. I want to make one thing very clear as well. When investing in companies, make sure to watch out for greenwashing. And if you want to find out more about greenwashing, I'm going to post a video in the next couple of weeks. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you soon.